freedom to gain, we feed them the game. Turn on New Freedom Exchange, we freeing your brain. They trying to shackle your mind, no half of us blind. Remember the past, but never go backwards in time. The ancestors lived through us, they help us build a model community. New Africa is soon to be. So tune in to Sister Marsha, Mujahideen, Imam Bilal, to get your cultural enlightenment now.
Welcome back to another edition of New Freedom Exchange, your cultural expression for social dignity and community empowerment. I'm your co-host, Mujahideen, here with...
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Marsha.
Walaikum assalam, Imam Bilal here. We're appreciative and happy to see everyone back here on New Freedom Network. And inshallah, you are doing well, number one. And also, if you're seeing this, give salams. You're watching this now, give salams or give peace. Let us know where you're tuned in from in the comment section, as always, so we can shout you out on the screen. And also, like and subscribe. Like New Freedom Network and New Freedom Exchange with an X on Facebook page, and also our YouTube channels for New Freedom Exchange and New Freedom Network on our YouTube. So hit us up and subscribe and look for all of our previous content and share with your family and friends. So alhamdulillah, how's everyone doing on this Saturday?
Doing well. I feel like I haven't been in this space in so long. I know I haven't been, actually. Something's always been coming up. So I thank Allah for being here today. And today's been kind of a chill day, which I always appreciate those. I love to clean. So I woke up this morning just getting my space right, which also helps me with just thinking clearly. So I'm grateful for that. My family is dealing with a loss of a loved one. So, we're going through that, but everyone's thriving over here otherwise. How about you all?
Doing good. My volume's kind of low, so that's on my end. But
we hear you well.
Oh, okay, yes, I'm in motion. All I heard was New Freedom Network. But no, everything's good. What did we do today? What did I do today? Oh, we was at the marketplace for Prosperity Marketplace. Fun fact! Yesterday, was it yesterday? What's today? My day's getting all mixed up. Being in motion too much. Oh, my son went off to football camp. I had this aspiration to be I wasn't trying to be a football player, but I had my football career 1 year senior. So my son, he got to start early.
Football career.
My son, he got to start out early. Actually, all of my sons, they all into that. So it was interesting just to see them, going out with the brothers.
That's good, alhamdulillah. So hopefully they continue with that trajectory. Inshallah, may Allah bless them in that. I was with Deen, actually. He was in the marketplace, as he mentioned. That went well. It was hot today, but alhamdulillah, we did pretty well. So always good to meet new customers and see the usuals, customers, actually returning customers and new customers. So alhamdulillah for that. It's always good to capture those fun moments and stories from people. So we did that. And also yesterday we were at Temple number 7, now known as Masjid Malcolm Shabazz in Harlem for Jummah, and spent some time with the believers there for a little bit. And alhamdulillah, that went well. And we're going to be continuing our traveling as we get ready for this year's 19th annual Time to Be Grateful, which will be held in the city of Newark, New Jersey, December 7th to the 10th. And inshallah, we'll throw up the flyer, and registration is open for those who need to get their registration for the events that will be taking place for the weekend, and get your hotels booked for the various hotel options that are in the area. But it will be an awesome time. So we spent some time with the believers here in Harlem to promote for this year's Time to Be Grateful. So alhamdulillah for that. And we have an awesome show, actually. An awesome show. We have an awesome guest, an awesome organization that's as young and is ran by young people, actually. So both a young organization and a young people, young adults, are actually running the organization called Faithfully Sustainable. It is an organization that's geared towards the climate crisis, working towards the climate crisis from a Muslim Islamic perspective. So this is going to be a very interesting conversation. So we're going to bring on one of their representatives who is with us tonight, Sister Taylor Ward, and we'll bring her on and we're going to start our conversation, inshallah.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being with us with your beautiful smile.
Thank you.
So I'm excited for the conversation because all too often there are these issues that come up in the general society that we don't necessarily say the Muslims, have a stance on that, or the Muslims are taking a position in reference to that. And so to know that the Muslims are taking a position around sustainability, it's exciting. I'm curious to hear about it. So tell us about yourself and tell us about the organization.
Yes, so my name is Taylor Ward. I currently live in Tampa, Florida, but originally I'm from the Bay Area in California. And I started working with Faithfully Sustainable almost a year ago. And Faithfully Sustainable, as mentioned, is a very new organization. It was founded in 2019 by two Muslim women, Kajatu Blade and Zainab Kohli, who were both students and were interested in this intersection of social justice and Islam. And they worked to create, at first it was just going to be a pilot project where they were trying to see what is this connection between sustainability and Islam? What does that look like? What are the things that people are talking about? And it kind of really took off. And one of the first campaigns they did was hashtag reduce Eid shopping, and just getting folks talking about the ways that we engage in Eid, how we can, reduce the things that we buy, the clothes that we buy, and that sort of thing. And that was a really popular conversation. And since then, Faithfully Sustainable has done a lot of work in the digital space around creating digital infographics about the connection between Islam and sustainability and climate justice. And this conference is one of the ways that we're hoping to continue the conversation and bring together folks who I know have a career in this space, but also folks who are relatively new and really want to talk about how our faith intersects with this really, really important issue.
Excellent. I think that I would like to ask, the inspirations, the motivations, what were some of those when Faithfully Sustainable came about? What were some of the inspirations and motivations to start an organization that's geared towards addressing this issue?
Yeah, great question. I think one of the main motivations is the fact that climate justice and climate issues really impact Muslims around the world really deeply. Muslims are often the folks living in communities that are most impacted by climate change. We see natural disasters happening, or quote unquote natural disasters happening all around the world. And who lives there? It's a lot of time it's in Muslim countries, but often that's not a part of the narrative or how we talk about those events. And another reason is that, as Muslims, we have this amazing community where when we put our mind to something, we're able to accomplish a lot. And so we have this power to make a real difference. And I think this organization was really founded to be able to elevate that power and show that we can make a difference in this space and really improve the lives for ourselves, for our future generations, and for our communities across the world.
Yeah, so what comes to my mind is so in this space of climate change, social justice, all these different issues, what has been the niche? So you're coming with a Muslim perspective. How has that been received? What are some of the challenges? I know you mentioned about infographics. Maybe share some of those topics with us.
Yeah, so I think a lot of our community is really interested in this intersection between fashion and overconsumption of fashion and Islam, and the ways that we talk about beauty and what that means, especially for young women, and how we can approach that topic with a more sustainable lens. So the Reduce Eid Shopping campaign is one example, but we've also had different events where folks have talked about, how fast fashion intersects with how, there's this big culture around, getting the latest styles and things like that, but thinking more intentionally about like how we engage and what does that mean from an Islamic perspective. Otherwise, I think a lot of this has also been a way to uplift Muslim voices who are already in the environmental and climate justice space. There are so many amazing scholars and people around the world who are thinking about these issues. And so giving folks a platform to spread their message and share with others all about this work. So thinking about how we can create sustainable businesses in Muslim communities. How do we make sure that our masjids are eco-friendly and that they're doing things that are right by the environment and also within the principles of Islam? So there's so many different ways like climate justice, environmental justice really intersects with the issues that our community faces. And so I think we're trying to tackle it from a whole bunch of different sides and just give people the platform to really share what they know.
So, as we're having this conversation, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, we're throwing around terms, right? We're saying social justice, climate justice, sustainability, eco-friendly. And so are there some concrete examples of those things that you can give us? I know you talked about like reducing what we do in terms of e-shopping. I can imagine that has probably gotten some people's antennas up, like, wait a minute, during E we pop out. So I'm not sure, what the reduction is there or what the suggestions for reduction are there. But I guess help us to define help us to define the terms, but also help us to define some realistic solutions. You just talked about the masjids and being eco-friendly, right? And so I could kind of take that, I guess, wherever my understanding allows me to take it. And so I'm wondering where you all are coming from. Is it like, make sure you have a recycling bin or, things like that?
Yeah, definitely. And I think there's so many ways we can go from it. So with the reduced Eid shopping, for example, that could be as simple as maybe when the next Eid, instead of buying a new outfit, you're looking back into your closet and trying to come up with a new outfit of something that you already have. Or it's relying on a member of your family and like trading an outfit. And so that's a new outfit for you, something that's not in your closet, but instead of going out and buying something new. As we know, I'm sure a lot of folks have seen in the news, fast fashion causes so many problems for the environment, but also for people who are working in these industries. And so the point of that campaign was just to give folks alternatives to the ways that we view Eid and really get more in line with like what it means to be a Muslim. And then in terms of other things, like for example, with masjids, it could be something like when there's like big events at masjids, like a lot of times people use paper or plastic plates. So thinking about the ways that we can reduce that. Is it a matter of some people bringing reusable plates, or is it more so managing how we like get rid of our waste? Is it that we separate and put things in recycling? Do we have a compost bin? And then it's also just like having these conversations. I think it's kind of overwhelming sometimes to think about the environment and like, what does that mean for me as an individual? There's also this aspect of it that's like a lot of the things that are wrong with like the climate and the environment aren't really the faults of individual people. We live in like a society that, got us here, and systems that make it so that brown and Black people are the people who are experiencing unhealthy environments the most. And so it's really important also to realize that at the individual level, that's not going to solve all the problems. And so it's really like having these conversations about the ways that, one, we engage as a community in these issues, but also how are we knowledgeable about the ways that our society, our government, our cities are impacting our health as individuals, as communities, and just opening the door for those conversations as well.
Yeah, you said something that I feel like was probably the key thing, right? Is that just even broaching the conversation is probably like the big thing that we haven't been doing, right? And because that's where we develop solutions out of having these conversations. Because I imagine even for myself, right? I'm thinking about me and sustainability and being Muslim and what connections was before this conversation was I making in connection to that. Sure, I recycle in my home. And so, in my mind, that's me doing my part. But I don't know that by and large, as a Muslim community, that we are saying to ourselves that this care for the earth, for the land, for what Allah has given to us in terms of where we're able to inhabit the earth, that responsibility is connected to our faith, and we've talked about that several different times on this show in relation to many different things, how we kind of put our faith here, on the left, and then we put the other stuff here on the right. But for whatever reason, we don't marry them, and it's one life, right? It's one thing, and we always find a way to make it this dichotomous experience. And so like I said, I was interested in having the conversation just because I don't know that we go here, right? We're thinking about how to help people maybe who have food insecurity, or how to help people who have housing insecurity, or where we're going to build the next masjid or school at, right? But I don't ever really hear a conversation about how the Muslims make an impact in sustainability or in environmental science. I know we have Imam Bilal here with us, right? So he absolutely waves the banner around the subject matter, but I'm talking by and large as a community. I don't really hear that in spaces.
Right. I agree. And it's not very much talked about, but I am happy to have that. I'm happy that we are now connected to Faithfully Sustainable and have them on tonight as a way to bring to our audience, our diverse audience of the African American Muslim community, and let them know that this organization does exist, and the work that they do is crucial in education and awareness, and bringing up these conversations in spaces where it's kind of foreign. My other question was in regards to as we shift gears a little bit, we talk a little bit about the organization and the motivations behind it. We want to also shift gears to some of the activities that you all are doing now and in preparation for leading up to this major conference that is 2 days. One will be at NYU on September the 9th, which will be in person, and then the September 10th will be virtual. So if you could talk to us a little bit about the activities you all have lined up leading up to the conference, and a little sneak peek into what to expect for the conference.
Definitely, yes. So our conference is the Muslims for Climate Justice Summit. Our theme is the earth as our amana, and amana translates to guardianship. So we're really trying to bring this conversation around how we as Muslims can use the knowledge that we're given through Islam to create a collective consciousness that is embodied in our actions and encourages us all to do something meaningful for the well-being of the world. And so this conference is really exciting. We are going to have really, really smart speakers who are talking about these issues from a lot of different perspectives. So some of the sessions are things around food insecurity, and then bringing in how does urban farming help in that area? What are things that we can do in cities to address food insecurity? Also things like woven in Islamic ethics, which is more so about fashion and spirituality, and what does that mean? And so for that one, we're bringing some Muslim businesses to talk about fashion and what that means for our community. We also have a conversation about what does Islam say about a plant-based lifestyle? And so there's a big range of things that we're talking about, and also empowering Muslim voices for climate advocacy, giving folks the tools to really how do you talk about this? And what do you say when the conversation comes up? And how do you share your perspective? So we'll be talking about that as well. And then, of course, we'll have some fun events happening. We're planning to have a ethical Muslim vendor showcase. So these are Muslim-owned businesses and environmental organizations who will be at the in-person day to share their businesses, their products, ways to engage, and talking about how their business is also in line with, this idea of climate justice and Islamic values. And then other events will be having a poetry spoken word event where folks will come and share their art. And then we're doing this really cool unfashioned show, and it's hosted by Alma's Wearables. And it's a theatrical performance that includes many different art forms, but basically it's discussing the harms of the current state of the fashion industry. And it'll bring to light, the hidden cost of fast fashion and what does that mean for us as Muslims. So lots of things going on. And as Imam Bilal mentioned, the first day will be in person. The second day will be online. The first day will be streamed, so you will be able to watch it as well if you can attend in person, just to be able to get access to all of those great speakers that we're having. And yeah, the main purpose and goal is that we really want to create a space where we are building community around these issues that are really, really important, and really starting this conversation. For some folks who have been doing this like as their careers, like this is, their passion and like this is what they do. And for others in our community, it's kind of like the first time that they're having these conversations. So we're really trying to bring these groups of people together so that we can learn from one another, prioritize, and really think about solutions to make, the world a better place for all of us.
You sound like you all bit off a lot, and I am making dua that it is all successful because it's great, right? It's great. Like we don't get to the solution unless we have these types of conversations. And I would agree with you. I'm sure that for many people, this is going to be the first time that they're exploring this, and so I'm excited to see what becomes of it. I mean, you use terms like fast fashion, and I'm like, what is that, right? So I can imagine that there are other people who would be in a workshop like, I need to go to this because I don't even know what that means. And so, or even just to think that there are there are harms to the environment connected to the fashion industry. I think just in general, like we know things like, okay, we don't necessarily want to be producing fashion in environments that don't respect and give social dignity to the people who are actually producing the fashion, like sweatshops and things like that, right? We all know about that stuff, and we're like, yeah, no, not that. But I'm sure that there are other things that are going to be shared in terms of what happens in the environment connected to that stuff too. And so again, some things that even I never thought about. So I'm sure that there are others. So this is exciting. And as I said in the beginning, there are so many areas in our society, so many topics, so many issues that people are looking for the Muslims to step up and be be the vanguard and be the leaders in these areas. And a lot of times there's the I guess reputation that the Muslims aren't present. And so you and Faithfully Sustainable, you're a testament to the fact that that's not true in this sense, right? And so there is some work being done around sustainability for the land, for the environment, for the climate, and it's coming with an Islamic perspective. And that, I mean, when we either if we're birthed into Islam or we choose Islam for ourselves later on in life, these are the things that we are striving to I guess be the best of ourselves in, right? Which we're striving to be what it is that we're supposed to be. We talk about being the Khalifa and being responsible for what is handed to us, and this is a great way to exhibit that. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for much success.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And before we let go, and my last comments actually are towards somebody that was very special to all of us, including Faithfully Sustainable, including myself, brother Ibrahim Abdul Mateen, who passed away. May Allah forgive him his sins, grant him station in Jannatul Firdaus in paradise, was instrumental here in New York City and across the country, across the world, in bringing the connection to Al-Islam and the green movement or the environmental movement. And actually, before he passed, he was supposed to keynote this particular event here that we're talking about. And he'd written a book, which I have a copy of, and I encourage everyone to grab Muslim to grab a copy of, which is called Green Deen, What Islam Teaches About Protecting the Planet. And it's a very, he was one of my mentors when I worked at the Department of Environmental Protection. And I'm sure he was one of the mentors as well from Faithfully Sustainable. One of the first programs I saw you guys have was when you interviewed Ibrahim before, I think it was last year, if I'm not mistaken. It's something that's very special to me and to Faithfully Sustainable, that this issue involved Muslims being at the forefront of environmental justice and the climate movement. And I think this is a noble effort, and may Allah reward it. And may we also be a tool, a resource to help you all expand it and bring more people to it and give it the awareness. So this New Freedom Exchange is a home for you all as well.
Thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate it.
Mujahideen?
Excellent. I mean, I was kind of stuck back when y'all was talking about the sustainability of the masjids and different ways that
Right.
Institutions in our community could have an impact, And so some verses came to mind. One particular phrase we use a lot, me and Bilal, when we be building in relation to certain things, is like, Allah says that, the earth is His masjid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, if we take care of the masjid a certain way, we do the carpet thing, we do the bathroom thing, we do the smell thing. It's like, okay, well, we could transfer that to the environment, right? So it's like we have these open, clear signs, clear examples in the scriptures, in the life example of the prophet. And it's like, you're right. So it's like, we do need to step up and be more present in these issues. We shouldn't always be playing catch up. And so while this is a young organization, it still seems like you guys are like pioneering this effort, And so I salute you and salute the workers.
Yeah, that's how I see it too.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like, it feels like this is a pioneer effort, and it's great, right? So in my mind, I'm like, the masjid should know who Faithfully Sustainable is, right? They should know, and the various different organizations in our community should know, because sometimes when we are like charged with all of these various things that we have to take care of, it does seem overwhelming. It's just like, okay, I'm Muslim and I got to take care of all these things. And it's just like, it's going to take so much time to try to figure it all out. But we then rely on people who do have the expertise and who do have the experience to be able to give us sort of a roadmap and give us some resources to be able to do our part in our space. And so I imagine that that's going to be the future of Faithfully Sustainable. And again, I applaud you for all the work that you're doing.
Absolutely. And we want to invite our listening audience, viewing audience, to registration for the Muslim Climate Conference is open. It is open now. The link is scrolling across the screen. The link is also in the chat, in the comment section, excuse me. So please get your tickets. The tickets actually are not expensive. So let the price not deter you, because it's really reasonable. So please hop on it. It's going to be in person at NYU, and then virtual on Saturday and streamed also as well. So there's really no excuse. So let's support this noble effort of Faithfully Sustainable. You can also check them out on Instagram as well, Faithfully Sustainable on Instagram. So you can check out all of their work that they have done, all their videos, all the infographics that she spoke of are there. So you can go back in time and look at the content has been produced, and hopefully that will give some inspiration and motivation for us to find something in our everyday life to just change a little bit, just alter a little bit, and that's all it takes. That's all it takes is kind of just a little change, a little nudge. We know how that is, changing, trying to change our behavior. So, but if we can change it for the better, it's going to be good for all of us in the long run, inshallah. So go to Instagram, Faithfully Sustainable, follow them, and also go register for the conference coming up in September. This is it. This is the fly right here. The Muslims for Climate Justice Summit. Very excited for this effort. It's way overdue for something like this to happen, and it's about time that the Muslims, gather. And this is a perfect time for gathering, inshallah. With the political climate that we're in, it's a perfect time to show the Muslims show the world that the Muslims, are leading in these issues and with a balanced perspective. And
yes.
Ms. Ward, do you have any closing remarks?
No, that's it. Thank you all so much for this platform. Thank you for sharing this event. And I look forward to seeing you all there. And please feel free to reach out to us on Instagram if you have any questions about the summit, or if we can do anything for you in the meantime. But jazakallah khair for this platform to share our event with your audience.
Thank you. Shukran. And before we leave, also one more announcement. Is very, very, very important, that we are planning to be in Newark, New Jersey for this year's Muslim Journals, A Time to Be Grateful event, which is themed is their Words Make People, enhancing literacy and culture for future generations. So we're inviting everyone out, everyone is invited, Muslim, non-Muslim, your friend, your family member, bring everyone. December 7th to the 10th, we'll be at the Hilton Hotel in the Meadowlands. But the focus is Newark, New Jersey, the history, the impact of the Muslims in Newark and the history of that. So that starts on December 7th with vending and also the exhibits. There will be exhibits that will be on display of the history of Muslims in this country, particularly also in the history of Muslims in Newark, New Jersey. We will also have a historical tour. Okay, get excited, historical tour of all the historical landmarks for the African American Muslim community in the city of Newark. And then we also have a special attraction that evening. And then on Friday, we have Jummah, vending, the workshops, we have culture night. And then Saturday, we have workshops, more vending, fashion show and luncheon, the awards banquet that night. And then Sunday the 10th, we'll have the business networking breakfast, the vending, and the interfaith talim to put a cap on it. So inshallah, registration is open. You can go visit muslimjournal.net or mashalhaq.com. Again, muslimjournal.net or mashalhaq.com. And if you're interested in any of the events, these are the price breakdown for all of that. And, this will be shared on our pages as well. So you all can look at this and make your decisions as to what you want to do. But regardless of what you want to do, you have to be there. You have to be there, inshallah. And there will be room for young adults too. For the young adults from 18 to whatever age, they 40, 35, whatever's the cutoff, I don't know. And then the little kiddies will have something to do too. For the ones who are under that age, there will be spaces for them too. And hopefully, inshallah, we'll Faithfully Sustainable, if you all would like to be there as well, we can make room for you all as well, inshallah. We would love to see you all there too as well, inshallah.
Absolutely. That's right what I was thinking about. So I'm glad that you made a plug for the young adults, because that's not on the flyer that's out now, right. But there will be some more advertisement coming out that will highlight events for young adults as well. And so I see, Faithfully Sustainable potentially being, I know that the young adults are putting some workshops together. And so maybe there's a space there for you all to do a workshop, because you are young adults and, this is an important issue. And I think it would do well for us to see our young Muslims in this very, very strong leadership position. So we'll be in touch for sure.
Inshallah. Yes, definitely, for sure. So thank you all for tuning in to this edition of New Freedom Exchange Show. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, for faith committees coming together around the Word of Life, 7:00 p.m. Eastern. So inshallah, God willing, we will see you all then. Until then, peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending
say the first cutter be the one that sets the tone, to add pressure to a lesser known flesh and bone, to look different than the picture shown, and to be a rebel means you're not about to settle till you get your own. This one's for all my outside of the box thinkers, with bumblebee stingers and paper cut fingers and scrapes on their kneecaps. I know the pain lingers. The healthy way to heal a broken wing is to give it love. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown, shade of brown. Yeah, the thing about community is how proud it is. We understand what well-balanced and what grounded is. And love is the hinge that heals and mends, conceals and blends, and keeps us all covered. That's grounded shit. We say it's all black when it's all love, and it's brown when it's all good. Groundages, we help heal the hurt. So put us on. So put us on. I said you gotta put us on.
Legacy, legacy, brothers and sisters, let's celebrate. Legacy, legacy, Muslim Journal, 60 years today. Legacy, legacy, our history, our perspective, our way. Legacy, legacy, Islam is our path, success away. Legacy, legacy, visit muslimjournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, text sponsor the 999. Legacy, legacy, 999. Legacy, legacy, muslimjournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, brothers and sisters, let's celebrate. Legacy, legacy, Muslim Journal, 60 years today. Legacy, legacy, our history, our perspective, our way. Legacy, legacy, Islam is our path, success away. Legacy, legacy, visit muslimjournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, text sponsor the 999. Legacy, legacy, 999. Legacy, legacy, muslimjournal.net online.